Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Wednesday. This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios inside the bunker in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey. And to the highest point, to the United Center. In about 15 minutes, we got Vinnie Parise at the United Center. We got Shorts Guy, and you got myself, Sam Wu, streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. It's hard, folks, to be doing 15,000 things behind the board and do this podcast. So if I stall a little bit, not my problem. I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we know, Sam. We know.
Yeah. You should try it sometime to produce.
I would like to learn. We just haven't done that yet. That was kind of slated a while ago, and it just never happened.
Yeah. Well,
at some point.
Yeah. So we're waiting for Vinny.
Yep.
Because he's going to be live at the United Center. Devils are on a slump right now.
That's without a doubt.
Or they're not winning. We're at game 73. You're playing the Blackhawks. You've got to take 2 points here. 2 solid points.
You have to. No question.
Otherwise, Devils After Dark is going to – I'm going to play taps if they lose tonight as our intro.
I wouldn't go that far, Sam. That's not – we're not out.
Hey, play along, Shorts. I'm trying to hype up the show a little bit. But if you lose 4 in a row and to the Blackhawks, when will that slide end?
I don't know. That's a good question. I really don't know. And I'm looking. I can't find any of the line combos right now for tonight. We got to assume that maybe they're going to remain the same as the other night. But they have to beat the Blackhawks tonight. But this is one of those games, we've talked about it multiple times, way too often. The Devils don't do well about teams that are lower than them in the standings. But at this point, the Devils aren't doing well against anybody, especially those that are lower in the standings. And Max is just telling us that tonight it's Markstrom against Knight. So that's going to be a good goaltending matchup. I know Vinnie is excited to see Spencer Knight play. And the Devils have to get these points tonight. I know I woke up to Max saying that the spreadsheet was updated, so I got to go check that out in a second. But the Devils have to get these 2 points tonight. Getting 1 point against the Canucks was a good thing, but we need to get more, obviously.
It felt like a loss because they blew the lead.
Felt like a loss because we blew the lead, but it also, was disappointing for Markstrom to be let down again. And I know we talked about that at length on Devils After Dark. We don't want to rehash that game. You got to look forward. It looks like Markstrom's going to get the go again tonight, and I really kind of hope that the Devils can get him this victory. And I'm saying it that way because Markstrom did everything but get the win on Monday night, which he should have, and his frustration is pretty damn evident. And I think him getting a win could start him going on a tear as far as getting multiple wins in a row.
I have a confession.
What's that?
I wish I got his broken stick after the game.
Oh, it would have been cool.
It would have been cool. Be like, yeah, this is the game that Jacob Markstrom got let down by his own teammates, and he got mad.
Oh. Yes, that you have to add that at the end that he got mad because he's been let down by his teammates already.
Yeah.
I hope that stops. I hope that starting tonight, he is able to, start getting those victories for this team and the team to start supporting him in being able to finally getting into the win column because we need to do that. We went over Chicago's recent string of games on Devils After Dark, and it's definitely not good. This is one of those things. This is one of those games that it scares me, and I couldn't tell you exactly what was going to go on tonight because it's just so wild unknown.
Max is saying that Glass is out tonight. Glass is out because his wife, due to his wife giving birth. Congratulations.
Okay. Congratulations to Cody Glass.
Yeah. That's a good reason to be out tonight.
I'd say that's a really good reason. So does anybody know Max? Do you know who's stepping in for him? Let's see. Max just put him here. Nemec in, Bashin in, and Lazar is in. Okay, cool. So Bashin and Lazar. Cool. I saw some comments about our good friend Nemec. Speaking of that, it looks like Sheldon Keefe is basically saying that he's got a very he's got a very short leash because every shift matters, and this is not something he can learn on the fly. He's got to actually do it, or put up or shut up, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Sheldon Keefe is holding players accountable. This is what we wanted. There were times where I thought Lindy Ruff was a little lenient, but then there were times where I thought he was too rough. No pun intended.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I had to say that.
I'm sure you did.
But Serve says patience with Nemitz. It's not about patience. It's I'm impatient with players that don't help themselves. From what I hear from a source, that coach is complaining he doesn't pay attention, doesn't listen to the coaches, and he's all about statistics, basically points, not about the team. And to me, I have a problem with that. That's a maturity issue. And
hopefully correctable.
And assuming that this is true, which I have every reason to believe it is, I have no patience for that. I do have patience for development, but the right development. But you can't help players that don't help themselves when they're not listening to the coaches.
Yeah. And as a young player in the NHL, you have to do that. You're not a veteran. You don't know it all. Even the veterans have to listen to the coaching staff. Some of the older veterans will be used by the coaching staff to help. However, you've got to listen to the coaching staff. And Max just put it in the chat that Nemec hasn't learned from his mistakes, and that's a big thing. Brooke Amanda and I saw him make 3 massive blunders against the Vegas Golden Knights in person, and it wasn't good. And we wound up losing that game. And he was on the ice for a -3 in the last 7 minutes. It's awful,
Blunder,
absolutely awful. And then
blunder.
he goes a couple game. What was it, a game or two later? He goes out and scores a goal. So then everyone was liking him again. It's something that the kid's got to get consistently better. So it's not good. It's definitely not good.
Definitely not good. But look, I'm glad Markstrom is back in net. Hopefully Markstrom can get a convincing victory tonight. That's what we're hoping for. But he's going to have to deal with some young kids coming from the Chicago Blackhawks who have struggled this season. But, again, they're in the midst of a rebuild. I want to see the Devils play much better defensively for 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
A whole game. Because I thought, again, the last 2 third periods have been lackluster at best. Just lackluster defensively. Stupid mistakes, unforced errors, such as the delay a game or a needed penalty. They've got to control that. That's something that they can control, and it's about the execution right now, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And Max is correcting me. I guess that was against Winnipeg. It's all these losses are turning into a blur for me at this point. So if that was Winnipeg, yeah, looking at it, 1, 2, 3, those third period goals. Yeah, some of this thing is just becoming. Some of this stuff is just turning into a blur at this point. So thank you, Max. But this team's got to play a full 60 minutes, which it wasn't doing in the beginning, and then the team was able to do it, and then now they're not again.
Yep.
So you and I were there against these same Chicago Blackhawks, and the Devils were struggling in the beginning. And then I remember you went on a food eating, what should we call it, Sam? We went on a food eating tour of the rich seats, and the Devils went on to win pretty big in that game. So the Devils need to do that again. Everyone in the chat is saying basically the same thing, that we have to win, we have to win, we have to win. It's true. The Devils have to win tonight. So it's they just got to do it. That's the big thing. They just have to do it, and they have to do it convincingly. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely convincingly. And again, if you look ahead of the schedule, and the Devils are on the road. They play, I think, a Friday. Sorry, my phone's just not loading right now. They
That's
play
fine.
the Jets again.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, they play Minnesota on the road.
Yep.
And then Monday night, they play Minnesota again. And then they get a reprieve.
Yes, they do.
Because the big game on Saturday is against the New York Rangers at the Rock. Matinee game.
Another 12:30 start. Your favorite time.
Yeah, but you know what's happening afterwards? After the game?
I don't know. What's happening after the game, Sam?
I was hoping you could answer that question.
I was playing dumb. Yeah, no, that's the day that I'm going to be playing on the Prudential Center ice, and still trying to wait out, find out what the itinerary for that is. But that's coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to that. We got some time between now and then.
Yep.
And the Devils better have some wins between now and then, because I don't want to. Because that's going to be a hell of a sprint to the last game of the season if the Devils don't start picking some points up relatively soon.
Yeah. So it's going to be. I mean, that's a tough stretch right there. Winnipeg, Minnesota. The Rangers are always, a tough one. They're
matter the standings, yeah.
Yeah, and also they have an incentive to beat the Devils because they're trying to pull off a miracle and get in the playoffs. Boston Bruins have fallen off the face of the earth after trade deadline.
When you trade your captain.
Yeah. Losing. And then you got Pittsburgh Penguins, New York Islanders, then back to the Bruins, and then they end at home against the Detroit Red Wings. So maybe down the stretch will be a little bit easier. But then again, you don't know if these teams are that hungry, trying to catch up to get that last wild card spot. They might present a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they absolutely might present a challenge. This year's wild card spot is looking very similar to how last year's final wild card spot was, where teams had the opportunity to win it, and then they wound up just kind of all losing.
Yeah.
Man, it was tough. It's going to be a tough end of the season, especially if the Devils don't start picking up the points like tonight's 2 points. Because we're getting some help by other teams losing, but we can't help. We can't hope for that all the way through. Like, the Devils have to start taking care of their own business and getting it done, relatively soon, because, at least at this point, we're tied with games played with the Rangers, but out of nowhere, the Islanders are, starting to creep up, and they have 2 games on hand for of us with 70 played when we have 72. So I'm assuming those will all even out, or potentially even put us a little bit behind in games played after next week once we get to that Ranger game. But
yeah.
Tonight we got to get 2 points, because we know that the Jets game is going to be tough. The Wild are not a pushover team as well. If we're looking at at the Wild. They are currently in a wild card spot out there in the West. So we don't have an easy schedule coming up.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be hard.
Yep, definitely. I think we got Vinnie Parise on, but he's got to tilt his phone the other way. He has the vertical, not the horizontal.
He's got to turn it.
Yeah.
But he's not paying attention.
Oh, my goodness. How long we been doing this? Anyway.
8 years.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to use with what we have here. Going.
See it.
Oh, well, no. Right now, the camera angles is not ideal right now. I don't know if Vinny can hear us, but we're at warm-ups right now. We're going to go live to the United Center. And he's got to flip that camera.
He's got to turn it.
He's got to turn it. Oh, the signal. It's not very good. It's not very good.
It's not. We're trying.
Yeah, it's not very good. We're trying.
Yeah, we're trying.
That tells me the United Center, their internet sucks.
Yeah. Their network is being crushed currently by all the fans there in attendance.
Yeah, well, here we go. Oh, nope. We keep on losing them.
It's one of those things where you're probably seeing it on your end, on the back end, and it looks good, and you go to it, and it's not.
Yeah. But he's got to at least flip the camera.
I don't think he's listening or paying attention.
I don't think he's listening.
Nah.
I don't think he's listening. I think he's trying to talk. Hold on.
I think.
Maybe it's. Oh, there we go.
Hey, there we go.
Now the camera's flipped.
Now we're talking.
We should go to a one shot right now that's going on at United Center. There he is, Vinnie Parise. Look at that. Look at the nice ice shorts.
That.
Yeah.
Warm up starting soon. I get to skate on some nice crisp ice in about an hour's time from now.
Yeah. We got some action going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some New Jersey Devils coming out on the ice. Palat, Mercer, Bastian, Pesci. Connor's in the lineup. Dillon's in the lineup. Nason, Bratt, Lazar, Nemitz, Timo Meyer, Timo Time. There's a Dumoulin, and then
Gallon's there.
Yep.
Covey, Tatar, and there's Jake Allen.
Jake the Snake Allen. So definitely Markstrom is in net. We're at warm-ups right now at the United Center in Chicago. We see a Nico Dawes jersey. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. You see a Luke Hughes jersey and Devils fans there just piled in, cheering for their team. Definitely shorts. But yeah, let's get your predictions. We want to get your predictions right now, because that's what we want. Your predictions in the live chat as we're watching warm-ups right now. We want to hear what you have to say. And look, this is a beautiful view of the United Center.
Yeah. But we got to win.
Yeah. A Chico jersey says serve. We want to get your predictions. I got my predictions.
Yes, start throwing some predictions in the chat, everyone that's watching and listening. And I guess I'll start with mine, Sam. So the Devils are playing the Blackhawks. The Devils struggled against them when we were there seeing them live. Look at, and that's a Nico Dawes practice jersey. That looks like I guarantee that's a practice. I wonder if that's a stadium series.
No.
Or it's got 49 on it. So that must be something that he wore early on in like a prospects camp. With the Dawes jersey.
Let's see if
because that's a
zoom in.
That looks like a goalie cut on that kid. That's for sure. Anyway, got distracted by jerseys. Devils playing the Blackhawks tonight. Oh man, I want the Devils to win in the worst way. I also know that they've sucked against teams like the Blackhawks, but I'm still going to predict the Devils to win. I'm going to predict them to win 3-1 tonight against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, so we got some predictions. Jim Norton says 3-2 Devils. Steve Engel says 4-2 Diablos do Nueva Jersey. Jared Clark, also known as Clarker, I feel a 5-1 NJ win. Brooke Amanda, 4-0 Devils. Connor Bedard cries. 1-0 Devils. Luke with the goal. AJ Visco, the law office is the AJ Visco. 5-0 Devils.
Going with that shutout prediction.
Joseph Di Girolamo says 3-1 Devs.
Devils. Yep.
It says Devs. Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Devils.
Serve says 4-3 Chicago in the shootout. No, don't say that. Joey B says 3-2 Devils. Nick Adams says 4-2 Blackhawks. Selective Voice says 4-2 Devils. Wimpy says 2-0 Devils. Max, who retracted his prediction before, no Cody Glass, Eagles less goals, 3-1 Devils. Still the victory.
You missed it. There was another retraction. Serve said that he has to go Devils 3-1.
3-1.
3-1.
Big Steve Engel. It was good seeing you the other day, Big Steve Engel.
Big Steve Engel was there live and in person.
Yeah. He was talking to Alejandra for about 2 seconds because he got scared off. He got too nervous when he talked to Alejandra. Isn't that correct, Shorts?
Yeah. That is absolutely correct there, Sam.
Yeah. All right. So, So my prediction, 7-2 Devils.
Okay.
7-2. Shroom Goon says I predict a goalie fight.
No, we don't want that. We do not want that.
Yeah. But
I don't see Spencer Knight being the type to fight. I can see Markstrom fighting, but I don't think Spencer Glass is the type to fight. Joey B, absolutely. We hope that we get to meet you as well in the upcoming season. I would actually love to go out to a Devils Avalanche game out in Denver. It's been since I think 2017 that I've been out in Denver, so I would love to go out to Denver too. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out, Joey B.
yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank all those tuning in to this podcast. We have Devils After Dark after the game. State of the Fan address has been preempted. Will be airing tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Yes, on a Thursday. Because of this game, it's all good. You get your New Jersey Devils hockey fix on this podcast every day. Yes. And, as we're enjoying Vinnie Parise's live game shot during warm-ups. All right, going to hit the music.
You only get that here, Sam. You only get the live look-ins at warm-ups.
Yeah, I mean, this is happening live. Like live.
Right.
So a lot of us around the world, we are a global entity here at the Let's Go Devils podcast, that you will get the inside scoop. You will get opinions, whether you like it or not. You're going to get some banter, and then you're also going to get some comedy as well. You know, like the dessert race of the cookie, ice cream, and pretzel. And I got stopped today.
Did you?
Yeah. And again, they're telling me, you're the cookie guy. You're the cookie guy. And I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. But no, they say I'm the cookie guy, apparently. You know. So hopefully I don't get a cease and desist letter from some
better
people.
than being the salad guy.
Well, that is true. I'd rather be known to be a cookie than a salad. Although some people have said that it looked like I was a pizza. Can you believe that?
No, it was not a pizza. That's for darn sure.
It was a cookie. Surf says, live exclusive footage here, guys. Yes, of warm-ups.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
the only place you can get it.
Yep. So we're going to get out of here. So we bring you back to the United Center. We're going to close out. Till next time, let's go Devils.